I'm going to roast some of your favorite YouTube channels. We're going to talk about what worked for their channel, the psychology behind why it worked, and what didn't work so that you can avoid these mistakes and grow your own channel. All right, so we're going to start with Ali Abdal's channel here. He's a lifestyle and entrepreneur influencer, and I'm going to talk about some things that I like and then also some things I think we could improve here. So first, I love this title, Financial Freedom is Easy After You Learn This. So after you learn this I call it an open loop. You might know this as a curiosity gap or a cliffhanger. And this is the most common way of building curiosity. And it's the easiest way to do this is to just use the word this, but not actually specify what this is. So financial freedom is easy after you learn this. So the obvious question that the viewer asks themselves after reading this title is, what is this? So it kind of like gives you like an itch in your mind that you have to scratch. And I got to figure out what this is. And it's very simple. It's a great way to build curiosity and get people to click. Another thing I like about this title is that most people love two things, and that's ease and speed. So obviously this one uses ease here. So financial freedom is easy after you learn this. There's potentially another part of curiosity here, which is it's kind of counterintuitive. So for many people, financial freedom is like the hardest thing they've tried to achieve in their life. So when this guy says, hey, financial freedom is easy, it's like, wait a minute, like that doesn't make any sense. Am I missing something? Does this guy know something I don't? Also, it's like, oh, after you learn this. Okay, well, I'm definitely missing something because I don't know what this is. There's a lot to like about this title. And also, just this format is super easy to use, no pun intended. You could probably just plug in like any subject and replace financial freedom with almost any subject, and this title will work. So, squatting 500 pounds is easy after you learn this. Making $10,000 a month is easy after you learn this. Hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube is easy after you learn this. Making the perfect turkey is easy after you learn this. Literally just almost plugging in any topic here, and this will likely do well. At least it's worth a try. Another thing I liked about Ollie's channel here is how to change your life. So change your life is one of those power phrases that I've seen just work so many times. And it's so simple, but there's so much curiosity baked in. So like change obviously implies change, which, some sort of difference there. People love, for the most part, they love change. It's open-ended. So how to change your life, it speaks to almost like everybody's desire. Like everybody wants to change something, but it's broad enough that changing your life is different for everybody, but this still kind of fits. In the thumbnail text, you only need 4 hours. So people love time frames, especially you only need 4 hours to change your life, which is like, a huge thing. So there's that, a lot for a little kind of effect there. And that's a great combo there. If I were to kind of consult with somebody and they're like, hey, I want to make a video titled How to Change Your Life, I would probably say make it a little bit more specific. I think that this can work well for Ollie because he has so much trust and goodwill and such a big audience that it can work well. If you're a newer channel, I would probably add or even if you're not a newer channel, if you're not at 6 million subscribers, I would probably be a little bit more specific. You could swap out life for like how to change your YouTube channel, how to change your bench press, or whatever it is. So you might want to be a little bit more specific. You could also it's the turn of the year soon, so how to change your life in 2026, how to change your life in 3 weeks. That adds another time frame. Obviously, we have a time frame here in the thumbnail text. So I would be a little bit careful if I'm going to use this as a smaller channel. I would just probably add a little bit more context, because how to change your life, you're kind of competing with like everybody on YouTube. You're competing with Ollie, who's got 6 million subscribers. Someone like Alex Hormozy could be like how to change your life or how to change your business. So if this was me and I didn't have several million subscribers, I would probably add some more context. But it's definitely worth trying. So now something that I think could be a little bit better, and I don't even know if this could be better, but so obviously we have here the ultimate guide to building a lifestyle. It did slightly worse than, all of the videos in this screen right here. Obviously, it didn't do bad. 84,000 views as your worst video. It's not bad. But let's just kind of brainstorm other ways that we could write this title. We could just steal this. Building a lifestyle business is easy. After you learn this, we could try to add more context or just slightly more details. So maybe we want to use like, time frames, and we'll talk about time frames more later in this video. But 68 minutes to building a lifestyle, how to build a lifestyle business in 68 minutes, or give me 68 minutes and you can build the business of your dreams. All right, so maybe lifestyle business is not exactly what the audience is looking for. Like maybe it is, but maybe we could try to kind of zoom out a little bit. So we could talk about the ultimate guide to quitting your job. And, also, the thumbnail text, escape the grind. We could say quit your job. I think quit and stop are probably slightly more powerful words than escape. There's a good chance that it doesn't matter, but it could be worth trying. Another thing we could try to do is, okay, so the thumbnail is about moving away from pain, so escape the grind. We could also try to use moving away from pain in the title. So the ultimate guide to quitting your job, or quitting the rat race, or quitting the grind. Or if I wanted to quit my job and start a business, I would do this. Something talking about the end goal, quitting my job and financial freedom, like that's kind of an end goal. Building a lifestyle business is potentially a little bit too specific. Like maybe I don't even know I want to build a lifestyle business, but I definitely know I want financial freedom, or I definitely know I want to quit my job. So those are just some different ideas of how we could think about this differently. Obviously, this didn't do bad. 84,000 views is awesome, but those are just kind of some ways that I think that I would think about this differently. All right, let's move on to Epic Gardening. So we have Epic Gardening. It's an awesome gardening channel. And something I really love about this is this video here, 164,000 views, 19 crops to plant in September ASAP. I think many channels could do well with a monthly video. A while ago, I saw it was a finance channel. It was like stocks to invest in every single month. Now, that's not going to be like a great long-term video, but if you have a decent audience and if things are changing, that would be a great idea. All right, so we're going to hop on over to Creator Hooks Pro really quick. I just want to show you some other examples of this. So let's filter on the click trigger seasonality. So cars dealers can't sell, August 2025. I think this guy did the same thing every single month. Summer staples. So that's not exactly like month, but this is for fashion. Every single season, we're going to talk about different staples or different outfits you could wear. We used to work in a fishing channel, and we would talk about, how to catch trout in the fall, how to catch trout in the spring, how to catch trout in the summer, how to catch trout in the winter. So that worked well. People just want to know, like, hey, is this video relevant right now? And just dropping in the current month, in the current year, or the current season is a great way to tell your audience, hey, like this is working now. Especially since for most channels, like for the most part, if you're watching this channel, all you want to know is like, hey, what crops do I plant and how do I plant them? And there's only so many ways you can say like, hey, plant these crops, plant these crops. But one way to add more context, make it more relevant and more interesting is say, hey, plant these crops like right now. Like this video is relevant for you right now in this current month. All right, moving on here. We have Pro Gardener reacts to unconventional gardening hacks. I love this. A simple way to build curiosity is to talk about weird things. So like using the word unconventional or weird or strange or odd. I think that might be the easiest way to build curiosity, just because they're weird things, and weird things are just, they have curiosity baked in. So I love that. Super simple. It's got a lot of bangers over here. We grew garlic 7 different ways. Here's what happened. This reminds me of this video website. I built one website 20 times to find the best website builder. People love when you do like the same thing, or you try to achieve like the same goal a bunch of different ways and that it kind of feels like that there's like credibility built in there. It's not like, hey, here is the best way to grow garlic. It's, hey, we grew garlic 7 different ways. Here's what happened. Like I built one website 20 different times. This was the best way. So you could do that for almost anything. Like, I train for a marathon 7 different ways, or I use 7 different like investment strategies for a year. Here's what worked. It's a little wordy, but the point is, how can we do the same thing a bunch of different times to kind of prove and show our work of like, hey, like this is actually the best way, as opposed to like only stating an opinion. Especially now in the time of AI, anybody could make a video, here's how to grow garlic the best way. But not everybody can be like, hey, we actually tried every single way. We're going to show you our work and we're going to prove to you, what actually is the best way. This is kind of like a show, don't tell strategy. Here's weird. So we already talked about weird and how that builds curiosity. Here we have crops you can still plant in August. So it's another example of calling out the current month. And this also did very well. So cool to see that worked. Now let's talk about one thing I think could have been improved. So he grows some of the biggest vegetables in the UK, the Veg King. One thing I do love is putting things in like kind of buckets or categories and making them the most extreme in that category. So like the biggest vegetables in the UK. So you couldn't say like this guy grows some of the biggest vegetables in the world. I mean, maybe you could, but sometimes it's like not as relevant. Like sometimes you're kind of stretching it. But if you make something the most extreme in kind of a small category, like in the, growing the biggest vegetables in the UK, that's a great way to make something more interesting. Another example of this might be, he is like the fastest man in the UK. Like, someone might not be like the fastest man in the world, but they're, the fastest man in the UK or something like that. So I do love this strategy. However, clearly it didn't work that well. I mean, it might do well, but I think it could be better. A couple things that I would try. Me as an American and as somebody who's not that interested in the gardening world, I don't care if he grows some of the biggest vegetables in the UK. I do like this creator, Kevin. I love his opinions. So I wonder if this would do better if he was like, he grows some of the biggest vegetables I've ever seen. I care more about his opinion than vegetables in the UK. So that could be something to try. You could also make this more of like almost like an educational title. So how he grew some of the biggest vegetables I've ever seen. We could also make this more specific. So I think this is a zucchini. It looks like a 50-pound zucchini or something. So we could say how he grew a 50-pound zucchini. This is an example of zooming in. So instead of biggest vegetables, we could zoom in and make it super specific. So that's a couple things that I would do to try to change that. So moving on, let's go from farm to table here. We got Ethan Chlebowski. Ethan, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but I love this guy's channel. He's killing it. He's doing a great job of showing, not telling. And I love this title here. This 25-minute video will change how you think about mayonnaise. So I would kind of think that like a video about mayonnaise might be a little bit hard to title. So using the time frame of 25 minutes, and here we have 22 minutes. That's just like a simple hack that's working really, really well right now of giving a little bit more context and making a video a little bit more interesting. And, especially for difficult subjects, it's like, how in the world am I going to title this video about mayonnaise? We also have the word change here, which we talked about with Ollie's channel, changing your life, changing how you think about mayonnaise. So this is awesome. I love time frames. They're just one of those title hacks that you can use to make almost any difficult to title video slightly more interesting. 25 minutes of thinking about mayonnaise, 22 minutes changing how you think about smash burgers. So I think that you could use this for almost anything. This 25-minute video will change how you think about the YouTube algorithm. This 25-minute video will change how you think about growing your Shopify store. I love that. And it doesn't even like make a big promise. So we go back to Ollie Abdal's channel. Financial freedom is easy. So we're making a big promise. Like, hey, this really hard thing is actually easy. Ethan's video about just changing how you think about mayonnaise and smash burgers, there's no promise. It's all just curiosity and time frame. So I love that. It's super simple. here's a great how-to without. So refuting an objection is often a great way to get people interested in your video. How to eat high protein. So we got a super big goal without wasting your money. So a lot of people say like, man, it's expensive to buy all this chicken and steak and ground beef and everything. I really want to eat high protein, but I just can't afford it. So it's like, hey, here's how to achieve a big goal without your biggest excuse or your biggest problem. And this is another title format that almost anybody can use. Just think about, hey, what is your audience's biggest goal? And then what is their biggest excuse or biggest obstacle or objection stopping them from reaching that goal? And then say, hey, here's how to achieve goal without objection. Now, one thing I think could do, maybe not even could do better, but this video, how I would learn to cook if I could start over. Obviously, we have it's 0.4x outlier. All these videos did better than that. I mean, this is such a proven video title format, and it didn't work for him. I'm just wondering, like, is it too basic? His videos are so good. I think this is just one of those things where sometimes videos just don't work well. I find it hard to believe that he didn't execute it well. He's such a great creator, but sometimes it just doesn't work. It does kind of feel like anybody could make this video, but I kind of feel like only like Ethan could make this video. I don't know, man. This is just a hard one. Maybe the thumbnail isn't great. So, wow, well, let's see. What did he change about the thumbnail text? Let's go here. And all right, we got a before and after. Excellent. Thumbnail change. So we got another before and after. Time frame from 2018 to 2025. It seems like he did everything right. And we're just going to say that sometimes videos don't work out, even if you're a great creator, even if it's a super proven idea, it just doesn't work out. So don't use this as like an excuse or like, oh, like I tried, YouTube just doesn't work for me. But I'm just going to say, just keep trying because YouTube is hard and it doesn't always work. All right, we're going to move on to Matt D'Avella's channel. We're going to start with something I love here. So why everyone is quitting social media. That's a great strategy. There's got a lot of drama. It's worse now with the thumbnail text, kind of like, piles that on. So I love that. But something to consider about this is that the topic, so quitting social media, kind of confirms everybody's suspicions. You wouldn't really say like, all right, let's say crypto was on a heater and like, yeah, why everybody is quitting Bitcoin right now, or why everybody's quitting crypto. Something already has to be on the verge of not doing well. So definitely this is a great format, but I would just make sure that you're kind of confirming suspicions. You're writing something that people are actually quitting or thinking about quitting, or people are just kind of like doubting. So, why everybody is quitting RVing, or why everybody is quitting monogamy, or, whatever it is. That'd be kind of a wild video. I'm kind of the opposite of like, okay, everybody's kind of thinking about this. Why I'm still a minimalist after 14 years, it's harder now. I'm not a minimalist. I'm not in this minimalist world, but I do wonder, like, is everybody thinking, oh, minimalism is harder now? Like, I can't be a minimalist anymore. I don't know. I think that, I don't know if it's the video, if it's the topic or the title. Let's see. All right. So we changed the thumbnail. We did a thumbnail change. It doesn't want to, all right. It's harder now. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think really getting into the audience's mind and like, all right, what are they actually thinking right now? Oh yeah, everybody is quitting social media. Like that's right. You're joining the conversation that's already in your audience's mind. I don't know if this does that, but let's see if we could maybe write a better title for this. So we're going to go to Create Hooks Pro real quick. I've got Matt D'Avella's channel already logged in here. So I'm going to paste the URL. We're going to generate a summary. And this summary is going to generate 4 kind of different ideas or angles. So we have this video is about the benefits of minimalism, power of identity and consumerism, simplifying work and life. All right, let's talk about that. Let's see. So the most interesting part of this video is how I simplified my work by becoming a solo creator again and using a simplicity filter to make decisions. Asking if choices make life simpler or more complicated, especially in business. All right, let's see. You're missing out on the simplicity filter decision framework. I like the simplicity filter decision framework. We're just going to add that here. Let's see what happens. The biggest mistake, we could potentially. Complexity is killing your business. If this decision filter works. All right, so if this pencil works, it'll change your life. This is an outlier from kind of a while ago, but this is pretty sweet. If this decision filter works, I love that. All right, so let's go over here to review. And we're just let's generate some new variations and see if any of these titles work out well. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for like a word or a phrase that I like. Oh, I like this. All right, so we're gonna add that. The one filter that'll transform how you run your business. I like that. You're overthinking everything. I like that. Hidden reason your business feels so overwhelming. Your business needs more. Let's see. I fixed. All right. I like this. Okay. So let's go back to this video here. Why I'm still a minimalist after 14 years. So I bet that. So let's kind of make these more about kind of his life. So you're missing out on the simplicity. I don't know if I love that. Biggest mistake you're making with your business decision. Let's actually remove that. Complexity is killing your life. Let's try that. Why every decision you make is harder than it should be. I love that. The one filter that will transform how you run your business. The one filter that will change your life. So let's go steal from Ollie's channel that we're talking about changing your life. Let's add another one. The one question that'll change your life. I fixed my business by actually asking one simple question. So we could say I changed my life. Maybe I simplified my life. All right. I simplified my life by asking one simple question. Okay, so these are a bunch of different ideas of like, okay, obviously, like, let's go back to Matt's channel. 371,000 views, not bad at all, right? However, it is fewer views than all the other videos on this screen right here. If this were me, I would just try to think of, okay, what's a different angle that we could write this in? So, and these are a bunch of different angles. I'm thinking about, so we have some negativity. Complexity is killing your life. Some more negativity. Why every decision you make is harder than it should be. We have kind of curiosity and desire. This one filter will change your life. I simplified my life by asking one question. So when I'm thinking about, all right, a video did not do well, what am I going to do here? I'll often change the total angle. We can zoom in and say like, let's talk about the one question that will change your life. We can zoom out and we can talk about, you're overthinking everything. We could add negativity and fear and curiosity and desire, and just think of all these different angles. And that's how I would try to rewrite this title. All right, I hope you enjoyed these breakdowns. If you want to learn more about the psychology of YouTube and get more ideas for your channel, watch this video next to see more breakdowns.